Hi guys, this is Pestily and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. In this video, I'm going to cover all the passive skills in the game. I'm going to cover how they level, what they do, the diminishing return side of things, and just some other opinions on some of the skill points, and there's a lot of information to give out. So guys, without further ado, let's crack straight into it. So first up, skills are a thing in the game that's like a perk that passively levels up as you play the game. So they're leveled by doing certain actions within the game. Now, these actions can be enhanced by 2 upgrades within the hideout. Currently, I am not 100% sure that these work to benefit, but I've been told they do. But to my understanding, I'm not really sure. Now, the library, if you upgrade to the point in the hideout where the library gets to, you upgrade the library, you'll get plus 30% to practical skills. And then if you get an air filtering unit, you put in a FP100 filter absorber, you'll get plus 40 to passive skills. Now, I'll explain what those mean by practical and passive skills. So up here, you go to, you got your types. The physical skills are these ones, and the practical skills are these ones. Then your covert movement, search, and mag drills. So that's what they mean by the different skill types, and you can search these ones here. Now, not every skill in the game is available yet. They are going to add more skills as the game progresses, and I'm fairly confident there's going to be a pretty massive overhaul at some point. I'm going to start at the top left here. This one's a memory skill. It's currently not in the game at all. Down here. Yeah. It's max level for me, but it doesn't actually do anything in the game. It says stuff like it's based around the rollback of skills. They removed that from the game because people didn't like the fact that if they didn't play for a week or two, their skills would deteriorate. So that's been removed. Next one we've got is endurance. Now, this skill is probably one of the most important skills in the game, if not the most important. It's about how much stamina you have when you run around. And so it increases stamina, decreases stamina drain. So every time you jump, there's a big jump down in stamina, increases breathing hold time, and decreases breath recovery time. Now, at level 51, this goes from a stamina bar that will be complete. It gets a 100% bonus to the actual stamina bar, which is a massive jump. But when you drain stamina, as soon as you stop running, about a second later, it'll start regenning, but it regens at like 10 times the speed. So you go from full stamina to empty from running and then back to full stamina in about 10 to 15 seconds. It's actually really quick. It's scary quick. So once this is max level, it is incredibly powerful. You'll see some of the people, I think Quattrace at the moment has max level endurance, and you'll see him stop, and by the time he finishes like doing his next action by a loot or something, he's already back at full stamina. So when you're doing loot runs or, even just in combat, in between aiming down sight, moving to the next target, this one just levels up super quick. So not levels up super quick, it regenerates super quick. Now, this skill is leveled pretty much by one action and one action alone, or technically 2, movement. So when you're walking underweight or running underweight, this will level up at around 0.1 of a skill point for every 20 seconds of running. It will also level up when overweight by running for about 20 seconds. So that is pretty much the only way you can level it. If you, I don't know, were to start running around the map all the time, I think it's around, if I'm not mistaken, about an hour a level or something. If you were to just constantly sprint non-stop. It might even be 2 hours level. It takes a while. It's one of the skills that you probably just don't worry about trying to level deliberately, but it will just level up over time. And if as you see, I'm level 64. I play the game fairly aggressively, so I'm running a lot. And I'm only at level 38. So there's still probably about, I don't know, a lot of raids left. My guess would probably be about 600 raids left of playing before I'm going to get this to max level. Next one is strength. Now, this one is probably the most controversial skill, or up there is either the most controversial or second most. Strength skill increases your jump height, which means that you can get to certain areas. There's some pretty cool jump spots that I've found in the maps with some other people where you can get pretty good advantage points on people. The carry weight's not a big deal unless you're trying to level up your endurance and that. But it will have more of an effect once the next major weight overhaul comes into play and we find out what's going on with that. The melee strike power isn't a massive thing, but it does mean you can use some of the shitter weapons and still do a one tap to the head with a right click. I'm not really sure off the top of my head if at max level you can left click and get a one-shot kill on a head, because you need to be able to do 35 damage, and there's not many weapons that can do that. The biggest point in this one is the sprint speed. Now, I'm at level 16. I've got 24% sprint speed. At level 51, which is the max level for all skills, you run at 75% faster sprint speed. Now, it used to be 100% and it was super fast. I actually think this should be pretty much removed from the game. The sprint speed one is just a really annoying thing because it does give that fairly unfair advantage, particularly in fights, because people can move extremely fast, including the bunny hop kind of method that we use sometimes. If you got a high level strength, max endurance, and you're bunny hopping with a massive sprint speed, you can launch yourself around a map really quickly. And personally, I wish this was actually removed entirely. Instead of max sprint speed, I would actually have it as there's a diminishing return on when you have an armor on. It reduces your actual walk speed. I would actually say that this should actually reduce that amount of loss of walking speed and make it so you can at least walk faster. But sprinting speed, it's powerful, guys. It's actually up there as one of the most controversial and definitely most powerful. The next one we've got is Vitality. This one is pretty much leveled up by just taking damage. There are other ways, I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, but it's something you don't really need to worry about too much. It will just level up over time as you play the game. Decreases the chance of bleeding and decreases the chance of dying by losing of limb. The dying of losing of limb is now taken out of the game, so you don't need to worry about that side. It used to be when you took damage to a limb, when it was blacked out, you would die instantly. So now that is being removed from the game, but decreases the chance of bleeding. It's quite nice, but it's not something you need to stress too much about. The health skill, really, really brutal skill to level up. With this one, it is leveled up in 3 ways: by leveling up your strength, leveling up your endurance, and leveling up your health skill. Speaking of that, I actually missed something on the strength skill. How to level up the strength skill? For this one, there's 3 methods. Walking overweight, about the same rate as endurance. So for every 20 seconds walked, you'll level up 0.1 of a skill point. So you guys can see with the overweight side of things. This is what I'm talking about, overweight here. So I'm at 46 kilograms is my max carrier weight. So I'm at 65.7, which means I'm overweight. Now, when I say overweight, it actually starts leveling up around 90% of your max weight. So when I say I was around around 43 kilo, 44 kilo, or maybe 42 kilo, that would be about when it would start leveling up strength instead of endurance when walking. The next one is throwing grenades. 8 grenades is 1 skill point. So this is probably the easiest method. What I personally suggest is you throw every single grenade that you find. Sorry about that. Every single grenade that you find, and that way you'll level this one up passively. And that's how I've got to level 16. I've been throwing grenades every time I find them. The last method is meleeing. The way that people that would have max strength at the moment is they would have gone into a raid with their mate and they would have just meleeed their leg until the person's nearly dead, and the person would heal up, and then they'd take turns in meleeing each other. Every melee hit is 0.1 of a skill point, and yeah, this is how people have leveled it up so quickly, is they've done that method. Unfortunately, they've got diminishing returns on now, and I'll explain that a bit later at the end of the video, to stop people from doing that kind of stuff. But I suggest just throw every single grenade you find, unless you want to hold on to one. I would throw every single grenade you find, and that's the method I use with strength leveling. So moving back over to health. So health is leveled up by leveling up endurance, strength, and also taking damage. So you need the strength at level 3 for a skill. So you probably want to start throwing grenades very early that you find. Not level 3 for a skill, for a hideout upgrade. And you're going to need health skill for a lot of quests. There's 3 quests that require health skill. There's a quest that gives health skill points, which is handy. But overall, you're going to need to level this one up. And putting a little bit of focus on throwing grenades, running and walking. I suppose walking is pretty obvious, but it levels up pretty slow. And they've reduced the levels required for these quests, but it's probably going to be that sticking point and that frustration point. It decreases the chance of fractures, decreases the energy consumption, and decreases hydration rate. They're handy perks. They're not like the perks that you need to level up for, but so just something to take note of. Stress resistance. This one is leveled up by taking damage whilst not on painkillers. With this, it decreases the chance of getting shock, and decreases the tremor oscillation. It's required for a quest. I think it's been reduced now down. It's either 18 still or 17. It's been reduced. This one levels up really fast when taking damage. Unfortunately, when you're on a painkiller, it doesn't level up. So you need to take damage without popping meds. Well, not meds, but painkillers, morphine, golden star, etc. There was the fire trick method that people used. I don't know if that still works, but with leveling up this one, it does. It doesn't really do anything too extreme. At max level, though, it gives you what's called Berserker mode. And when you take damage and you would say lose a limb, say, or get a broken leg, it would give you like this weird, like, I don't know, it looks like out of Doom. Your FOV goes all weird, and then you get like an immediate painkiller effect. I don't like having this at max level. I think it's really hard to play the game when it's kicking off all the time. But that's what it does. Don't stress too much about leveling. I just level it up passively. But you might get stuck on a quest where you need to level this up still. And if that's the case, personally, I just suggest going factory. And that's where you'll level up your health, your vitality, and your stress resistance pretty quickly by going into factory lots or lab slots, taking lots of damage. Next, we've got its metabolism. This one's required to be at level 3 for a hideout upgrade. Now, this one's leveled up really simply by just eating and drinking. The main point to take note of here is, and my head's kind of in the way, with the water and the energy here, every time you eat and drink, you need to actually replenish one of these to actually have it level up. So, for example, on a humpback, how it's got -5 hydration and then plus 50 energy, you can deliberately tank your hydration by, say, using a condensed milk with the 65 reduction in condensed with hydration there, plus it's about, I think, another 15 there. So that's 80 hydration reduced. It does replenish your energy, but you don't have to pay attention to that. And then once you've lost 80 hydration, then you drink, say, anything really, and it will see like the hydration here, 28 there, 25 there, and that will level it up pretty quickly. It's about, for metabolism, for a full bar of hydration, it's about 4 skill points off the top of my head. So when you need to get, I think it's level 3, you can actually do this in it's fairly quick, to be honest. I think it took me about 30 or 40 full drinks. But that's by cheating, but deliberately tanking my hydration and then replenishing it. But you could just do what I do now, and that's how I come at level 16, is purely just eat and drink everything you find. I literally pick up every single bit of food, every bit of drink, and I just eat it and drink it. If you find something that tanks your hydration, hold on to it until you find a drink. Then say you pick up a pack of sugar, you wait until you get like the apple juice, eat the sugar, drink the apple juice, and then keep moving on, and you'll level it up pretty quickly. Like mine's already at level 16, and this decreases the rate at your energy and dehydration rate. So that is a pretty cheeky perk, particularly when like it's pretty punishing at the moment. Enhances food and drink positive effects, which is great. And then the decreasing of the skills, that's been removed from the game, so you don't need to worry about that one. Now, immunity isn't in the game at the moment. Perception, this one is actually leveled up by looting, I'm pretty sure. But to be honest, guys, this skill will be the first one you max out. I don't exactly remember how it levels. I'm pretty sure it's by looting, as in like looting items from containers and stuff. But all you need to know is this will be the first one to level up. And why is it so good? The increase of hearing distance by 36% is actually does work, and increases loot detection radius by 102% with the elite proximity notification. Now, people ask me why I have this white dot in the middle of my screen, and it's because I've walked up near a item and there's an item on the ground, and it would just be a white dot that pops up in the middle of your screen. But that is what happens at max level perception. When it's not at max level, that loot detection radius, that means, like, say you're not aiming directly at an item. Say the item was in the center of the screen and you'd have your mouse just to the left of it, it would pop up a white dot. And the higher level it is, the closer, like the further away from that item you need to be for that white dot to appear. So it actually makes it really handy. Say you, when you're walking around, you walk over an item, a white dot will pop up on your screen. Go, oh my god, there was an item there. And when the new quests get added to the game, this is really handy trying to find those quest items sometimes. So yeah, but it's the very first one that you're actually going to level up. I can't remember the exact way. I'm pretty sure it's from looting, just by looting items from containers. But overall, this, like I said, first one to level up. Intellect, not in the game. Don't need to worry about that one. Attention skill. Now, this one is leveled up by every single item you find in the container or a backpack or any sort of container, right? Every single item is 0.1 of a skill point. Now, the more you loot, like, say you go on loot runs and stuff like that, the more containers you search, the more backpacks, the rigs, all that kind of stuff, the faster this one will level up. And as you search more items, the faster you actually search through the container. At max level, this one has a 50% chance to instantly open up a full container. So say there was 100 items in there, there's a 50% chance all 100 items will be shown at the exact same time. Pretty powerful skill. Once it's max level, it takes ages to level up at the moment. Due to the negative effects of, that I'm going to explain later. But it's definitely a cool skill to have, and nothing you need to really put a lot of thought into, but just take note that the more you loot, the faster you're going to loot through containers, and it's pretty cool. The increased chance to find better loot it's bad wording, because what it means is, say there's a safe, and in that safe there's 5 stacks of cash, a Bitcoin, and a roller. The better chance of finding loot actually means that when you open up that safe, it's not going to show the cash first. It's going to show the Bitcoin and then the roller based off the value, right? So there's a 38% chance it's going to show the Bitcoin first, then the roller, then the cash. So that's what it means by increase the chance to find better loot. All loot in this game is determined when the raid spawns. Now, moving over to Charisma, this one has no effect in the game besides the fact that is required for a quest. Now, this one is leveled up. I'm 99% sure it's by leveling up your perception skill and your attention skill. So looting items and searching items is what levels up Charisma. Due to there being an issue, I think at the moment with there was another way that this leveled. I think that got removed. You can't get this to max level, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't do anything. Now, the memory skill, this one just levels up when you level up other skills in the intellect area of the skill types. I think it's like intellect or mental or something. So when you're leveling up these ones, that's where it levels up. But it does absolutely nothing at the moment. There's no diminishing returns on skills. It used to be that, when they used to lose skills, well, people would be worried about leveling up their memory and then it would stop losing the skills. But it only just punished casual players, so they removed it from the game. Now, for the next lot of skills, so you got pistol, revolver, SMG, assault rifle, shotguns, snipers, LMGs, HMGs, launchers, underbarrels, all these ones, they all level up pretty much the exact same way. So hitting a target, so every time you hit someone, it's 0.1 of a skill point or thereabouts. Reloading does a very small amount of skill points, and chambering around. Now, the main reason why I'm focusing on that chambering around right now is with these ones, you've got the sniper skill, being this one. Most of the bolt action sniper rifles they don't hold magazines. They're just straight. Oh, actually, even if they do hold magazines, if you don't have a spare magazine and you got spare ammo in your pockets or rig, you can top load ammunition into the rifle. That means every time you chamber around, because you pull the bolt back, a round ejects from the chamber. You put the bolt forward and a round goes into the chamber. That gives you 0.1 of a skill point. It's between 0.1 and 0.2 of a skill point. So if you need to level up snipers, you can get a Mosin, a heap of shitty ammo, and just keep pressing R and you'll level up your sniper skill, right? That's pretty cool because it's required for a quest. But the major point that I wanted to point out now is the assault rifle skill, which the SKS counts as an assault rifle. You can do the same thing with an SKS. So if you wanted to level up your assault rifle skill really quick, you could just keep reloading over and over again, and that would level up your assault rifle. Now, that's why there's a bit of controversy with the assault rifle skill, because it reduces weapon recoil. You could cheese your way through getting this to max level, and it has a massive reduction in the weapon recoil included with another skill. Can make the SA-58 in particular very laser beamish. So something to take note of. As these level up at max level, there's a perk of, I think it's extra reduction or something. I can't remember. Sorry about this, but I'm fairly certain it's to do with either recoil reduction, or there is no max perk, but it has a fairly solid effect on weapon recoil. So these skills pretty much all do the exact same thing, but these two in particular, sniper and assault rifles, can be cheesed quite easily, and you'll be able to level them up, particularly the sniper rifle for the quest, by that method if you need to. Moving over to throwables, mine is level 7, and you're not going to see many people with a higher level throwable skill than me. I'm sure there'll be a couple out there, but last wipe I hit level 30 something in throwables, because I just threw every single grenade I found. I got my strength skill fairly high because of that, and it's honestly the best way. If you do a lot of labs maps in particular, every time you throw a grenade, throw 5 or 6 grenades, you'll get yourself a skill point in strength, levels up your throwables, increases the throw strength, and less energy required to throw. It actually is quite awesome having a high level throwables with a high level strength, because the increased throw distance levels up on the strength, the increased throw strength here, and you can peg grenades really far with your throwables up really high. So it's really cool. I like it, and it's just an extra perk when you're leveling up your strength by throwing grenades. Melee skill, I don't worry about this one at all. It doesn't really have any effect, but that's from meleeing people. You'll see people level up their melee skill. I do sometimes hatchet runs and stuff like that, but each hit will be 0.1 of the skill point. I did cheese a little bit of my strength at the very start of the wipe for the level 3 strength for the hideout, and that's why mine was probably as high as it is. Otherwise, it would probably be like level 1 by now, maybe close to level 2. So yeah, meleeing people will level up your melee skill. Pretty straightforward there. DMR comes into the same as all these other ones with your recoil control. Now, this one is probably one of the other more controversial skills at level 51. They've actually changed this. It used to be 30% reduction. Maybe it was 50% reduction. I think it was 50%. At level 51, no, it was it was 30% reduction. Oh, I don't know. They've changed this. At level 51, it was 30% reduction. Now it's what appears it's going to be 45% reduction, which means so the way it's leveled up is as you fire rounds, this levels up. Some guns level this up faster, but the main point to take note of is if you've got shitty rounds in your gun, you could just shoot them off and level this up pretty quickly, or you could deliberately go in there and level them up. But there are diminishing returns, which I'm going to talk about later. But I have not deliberately leveled this. This has just been playing the game normally, and I'm level 64. So probably about by level 65, or maybe level 66, I'll have this. Definitely by 66, I'll have this at max level. It's much easier to level up using a forward gun, of course, but it does reduce your recoil quite considerably, and this is the most controversial skill. This combined with assault rifle, these skills I think most people really hate. People that have more time who play the game purely for the fact that they get this extra bonus on making their guns really accurate. I don't know what changes they should make. I actually think this skill could probably get removed from the game, and it would make the game a bit more skillful. But it is what it is. It's part of the game. So for now, embrace it. But don't stress too much about power leveling this. If you do want to like cheekily level it up a little bit faster, just every time you get a gun with shitty ammo in it, just shoot off all the rounds and drop it on the ground. The way you can do it, but it's up to you. Covert movement. This one's changed recently. It used to be only leveled up by moving. There's a little speaker down the bottom left when you're walking around, and like right next to the stamina bar, and you'd scroll your mouse wheel to move faster and slower. And when it had no little like speaker like wavelength things next to it, covert movement used to level up. Now it seems to level up anytime you're pretty much walking. Once you get this to max level, standard stats on common surfaces is 61% quieter, increases the speed of covert movement, and noises produced by weapons and equipment are 61% quieter. That's pretty insane in itself. But then covert movement becomes equally quiet on all surfaces, which is the elite perk, which is I'm pretty sure it's like when you walk on metal, rocks, grass. It all makes it nice and quiet. This is a pretty powerful skill. I've never deliberately leveled it. I know someone last wipe did when it was the old method, just to see what the perks were like and if it actually did make things more quieter. It's definitely a skill there that you need to take note of, because it's a pretty cool skill and it does help a lot, particularly on a map like Labs when you're sneaking around. The search skill. This one is leveled up by every time you search a container to completion. And when I say container, guys, I mean a backpack, a rig, pockets, a filing cabinet, a duffel bag, a jacket, any kind of container. When you search it to completion, you get 0.3 of a skill point. It doesn't sound like that's much, but it actually levels up really quickly. You search an entire filing cabinet, that's 1.2 skill points. You search 5 filing cabinets, it's like 6, 7, I don't know, it's like 40 skill points. And then you'll level this up pretty quick. Now, as you're leveling it, I've heard that it makes you search things quicker. I'm not 100% sure about that. I actually don't think it does anything overly much. But when you do get to max level, it does it does give you the elite double search ability. So you can search a backpack and a pockets at the same time, or a rig and a pockets at the same time. Or if inside a backpack, there's 2 rigs inside that backpack, you could search both those rigs at the same time. It's a very common question that people don't even know about, but the search skill is a very powerful skill, particularly later on when you're doing a lot of labs runs where there's a lot of people coming around and you're trying to get some meds out of the pockets or steal the ammo real quick out of the rig. It's pretty cool for that one. And I don't deliberately level this one either. It just levels up pretty quickly, and you'll get it there. Probably around level 55 to 60, you'll get max level search. Mag drills. This skill is probably the slowest leveling skill in the game that has any real benefit. With the mag drills, on level 6, and I don't do anything deliberately to level it. It takes forever to level. Increases ammo loading speed, increases ammo unloading speed. So I'm sure you guys know what that means. Increases speed of magazines checked through the context menu. Increases the accuracy of magazine checked through the context menu. Now, I'm not sure how this works, but the way it is when you check mag, so you take the mag out, it's like Control T or Shift T. You pull the mag out and it tells you how many rounds are in it. Sometimes it goes nearly full, like half, about half, less than half, empty. So if you had this at max level, it would tell you how many rounds are in the mag. So you take the mag off, you'd be like 7 rounds or 15 rounds or 12 rounds. I've never seen this at max level, so I can't confirm that, but that's what Nikita said when they added the skill to the game. That's what the purpose of it was. Now, how many skills we got left? I think that's pretty much all the skills. So what I want to do here is also point out some things about the skills. Nikita and his intention with how the passive skills is the skills are meant to level up over a long period of time. These skills are not meant to be deliberately leveled up to max level in, a week of playing the game. Like if you had a week off work, you shouldn't have every skill max level. Some of these skills, Nikita said, people will never get to max level. And then some people might have, say, for example, assault rifles at max level, but won't have, say, HMGs at max level when they're in the game. But another person might have HMGs at max level, but not assault rifles, but depending on their play style. And so it's kind of meant to give a personality to your character, for lack of better words. So some people might have certain skills leveled up more than other people because of their play styles. And they're meant to take a very long time to level. I do understand there's people out there who don't get to play the game as much. And when a wipe happens and these skills get reset, it's very punishing. All I can say is when the game gets released, if they do go down the path of no more wipes, which they're in discussion of how they're going to do that at the moment, the game will be better overall because you'll have a lot more time to level these up. We've just been told, if you look at the date of this video, that the next wipe will be around 5 months from now. So you've got a long time to get these skills up if you want to get them up, and you'll see the progression over time. Now, there's other people who will say maybe we should have our skills go up really fast during the beta phase of the game. My argument is no, because then that will deter. It will ruin the skew or the bell curve of how a wipe or the game progression should work. They need to work out what is too fast, what's too slow, and if they need to change anything. Now, what I want to do here is I want to quickly go into a raid. Actually, I quickly want to show you in the hideout. We've got the air filtering unit. So this is the FP100 filter with the 40 physical and the library with the 30 practical. I want to go into a raid right now and show you what I mean by diminishing returns, and then I'll wrap up the video from there. All right, so now that I'm in actual raid, there's this arrow here, and that means it's getting a buff or a bonus. If it goes to red, it means it's got diminishing returns and it's reduced your speed. But the way you can see is your highlight, say, endurance, leveling speed is increased by 129%. Now, as I was talking about the upgrades in the hideout, saying they should be plus 40%. So we go to physical, these are all on 129%, and then we go to practical. These are on 129%. So this is where I'm saying that I don't think the buff from the hideout is really working, because it should be like plus 40% on practical, I think it is, with the filter. So this is where you'll see the diminishing returns. As you do actions within the raid, this will reduce. So I don't know if I've got enough to, if just running for a second will make the diminishing returns on the sprint skill. Actually, I might be able to show you. All right, and as you can see here, now I'm down to 72% speed reduction on the leveling of recoil control because I just shot off a heap of rounds really quickly. So it said, hey, he's leveling up a lot of skill points real quick. So now it's reduced the speed in which I level up my recoil control. And this is how it works for all the other skills. And I'll have the negative arrow there. And there you go. It's at 65% now that we shot off another mag. So that's how the diminishing returns work. Recoil control levels up really quickly. So, that's what it is for that. So guys, I'm going to finish up this video here. Thanks for watching another video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for future content. I do stream on Twitch every day of the week. So go down the link below. Give me a follow there. You got any Tarkov questions, feel free to hit me up my live stream or down in the comments below. And lastly, I'll see you next time. I come from a land down under. Women plunder. Down under.